Welcome to The Explainer! Today, we are unpacking something absolutely fascinating and honestly, almost completely paradoxical. We're going to dive deep into a massive market event that totally shook the corporate strategy world back in June of 2026. We are talking about a massive, sweeping crash of major consulting and IT services stocks. It was a total bloodbath that caught so many people off guard, mostly because the underlying trigger, well, it made absolutely no sense on the surface. So we're going to demystify exactly what happened, why the market went into a total panic over artificial intelligence, and most importantly, how firms are actively rewriting their survival playbooks right this very second. All right, let's jump right in. To really wrap our heads around this panic, we've got to start with the anchor of this whole story, Accenture. In their quarterly results, they posted a staggering $18 billion in revenue. That's with a B. They had 4% growth in local currency. Earnings per share were up year over year. And they posted absolutely record bookings, with new consulting bookings alone crossing the $10 billion mark. The CEO even went on the record stating that AI was a tailwind, not a threat. So by every traditional metric we use, this is the picture of a company with a fundamentally strong, thriving core business. But here is where things get completely wild. Despite those massive, market-beating numbers, Accenture's stock took an absolute beating, plummeting nearly 30% over the year at one point. The market reaction was violent, and it dragged the entire sector right down with it. It's total financial whiplash. You've got record bookings in one hand and a plummeting valuation in the other. So that brings us to the absolute core mystery of this explainer. Is AI actually killing consulting? Think about it. If artificial intelligence is supposedly this massive tailwind, if it's automating tedious work, creating entirely new transformation projects, and opening up fresh revenue lines, why on earth is the market punishing these firms? Why are investors treating AI like some kind of extinction-level event for the consulting industry? To answer that, here is our roadmap for today. We'll look at 1. The consulting stock crash. 2. Headlines versus reality. 3. The billable hour problem. 4. The survival playbook. And 5. The boutique advantage.
Section 1. The consulting stock crash.
June 2026 rolls around, and man, the panic was just everywhere. You had Infosys hitting a 5-year low. Tata Consultancy Services, or TCS, dropped to a near 6-year low. The Nifty IT Index, which is India's benchmark for the sector, cracked a massive 6% in just a single trading session. Now, what's really absolutely crucial to understand here is what did not cause this. This crash wasn't triggered by a looming global recession. It wasn't some hidden accounting scandal. It wasn't a terrible earnings miss. It was triggered by Accenture, a company that actually beat estimates, simply talking about their shifting revenue mix.
Section 2. Headlines versus reality.
If you were scrolling through the financial press that week, the headline stories sounded apocalyptic, right? Things like, AI is eating the consulting business model. But the numbers story told a completely different tale. Accenture posted that plus 4% growth and $10.26 billion in brand new consulting bookings. That proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the demand for consulting services remains incredibly robust. Clients are still buying, and they are buying big. So those sensational headlines claiming an industry in collapse, they're simply false. So what was actually happening under the hood? Well, there were basically 3 distinct drivers fueling this massive sell-off. First, geopolitical drag. Things like the Middle East conflict slowing down large deal making and soft U.S. federal spending. We can honestly just dismiss that. It's standard macro noise. Second, investor repricing. Money was rotating fast toward Microsoft, Amazon, and Google, companies that earn immediate usage-based revenue from AI through the cloud. Investors were essentially asking, why wait for a multi-year consulting cycle to pay off when cloud infrastructure pays out immediately? And third, the massive structural elephant in the room. Billable hours are in direct conflict with AI efficiency. Which brings us to Section 3, the billable hour problem. And honestly, this right here is the exact nightmare keeping CFOs staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. Imagine a junior analyst who traditionally bills 60 hours to build a really comprehensive market sizing model. That's 60 hours of highly lucrative revenue for the firm. Today, an enterprise AI agent can knock out the first draft of that exact same model in about 6 hours. If the consulting firm is still out there charging by the hour, they haven't just saved time, they have successfully destroyed a massive chunk of their own revenue on that task. It is a giant revenue leak if they don't fundamentally change how they charge.
Now, you might be thinking, well, surely the elite tier of consulting has already solved this, right? Nope. Actually, the data says otherwise. An early 2026 analysis found that even at McKinsey, which is widely considered one of the most AI-forward firms in the entire industry, only about 25% of their global fees were tied to outcomes. A staggering 75% still relied on that traditional hourly billing model. This is the exact gap making investors so incredibly nervous. The old pyramid model, where you have lots of junior staff billed out at a massive markup, is just getting completely squeezed from the bottom up. But here is what's truly fascinating about all this. The market is actually completely overreacting. Seriously, take Boston Consulting Group, or BCG, for example. They told investors their AI-related work could hit 40% of their revenue by 2026, which is up from just 20%. Demand for AI transformation work isn't shrinking, it is exploding. Accenture alone reported 100 quarterly client bookings worth over $100 million each, specifically for large-scale AI transformations. Wall Street just hates when a company's revenue mix is rewritten mid-flight, even if the final destination is highly profitable. Section 4. The Survival Playbook. Okay, so how do you fix this? We've got the 5 moves. And let me be clear, this isn't some academic theory. These are the exact steps that successful, surviving firms are executing right now to transition away from the billable hour clock before it runs out entirely. Pricing, positioning, structure, speed, and trust, and leadership. Moves 1 and 2, they're all about migrating your flagship offerings. EY's leadership, for example, has been super vocal about moving the whole industry toward what they call service as software. This means pricing is tied to a measurable result, like cost saved, revenue generated, or cycle time reduced, rather than the labor hours it took. And when it comes to positioning, let's be real, clients do not care if you say, "We have an AI practice." Literally everyone says that. You have to sell the specific, provable outcome. You have to point to a named client and a hard 7-figure number you saved them, rather than just showing off some neat little chatbot pilot. Moving on to moves 3, 4, and 5, these tackle delivery. You literally have to restructure your pyramid. That means shrinking junior headcount and heavily investing in senior judgment to supervise AI outputs. And because AI allows you to magically compress delivery timelines from 18 months down to just 3 weeks, your new competitive moat isn't your team size anymore. It's trust. With strict regulations out there like the EU AI Act and UK statutory codes, building massive trust and regulatory compliance into your incredibly fast deployment is how you win. And finally, senior partners must lead this charge. According to the 2026 Management Consultancies Association survey, most firms use AI, sure, but the winners are the ones where senior partners can personally demonstrate the AI economics right there in the boardroom, rather than delegating it to a junior tech specialist. Section 5. The Boutique Advantage. Now, if you're tuning in and thinking, hey, I run a small shop, this huge macro stuff doesn't apply to me, honestly, you are dead wrong. This is your moment. Just look at the contrast. A legacy corporate giant is fighting a 40-year-old traditional billing structure. They have thousands of partners whose compensation is entirely hardwired to the old hourly model. Trying to change that is like turning the Titanic. But a focused specialist firm, you are agile. You can deploy outcome-based service as software models from day one. You can be the firm that deploys an AI agent into production in 3 weeks, while your giant competitor is still trying to scope out a 6-month discovery phase. Speed and focus are your absolute weapons here. Which leaves us with this final, incredibly critical takeaway. That stock crash we saw, it wasn't the market saying consulting is dead. No way. It was the market demanding proof of evolution. Internal AI adoption is completely invisible to your clients. Using an AI tool to help write your emails doesn't save your firm. So you have to ask yourself, have you actually changed your underlying business model to sell outcomes, or did you just update the buzzwords on your slide deck? The firms that can prove they fundamentally change the way they create and capture value, those are the ones that will survive and absolutely dominate the next decade. Definitely think about that as you plan your very next client pitch.